Scarecrow Festival is like the most important day of the year.
What?
Daft Cow?
This is just ridiculous. What the actual fuck?
Scarecrow Festival is like the most important day of the year.
What?
Daft Cow?
This is just ridiculous. What the actual fuck?
You have to keep an eye on that, just make sure it doesn't
Stop.
fuzz out or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to 3, 2, 1. Welcome to a brand new Pancast podcast called What the Actual Fuck?
WTAF, a This Country podcast.
Yes. Now, we love this country.
We do.
We're not being nationalistic or jingoistic or whatever the word is. It's the newest, best comedy programme on British television that if you like British humour and if you like the British Office, it's that kind of style programme, and it's taken the internet by storm, I think, after just one series. It's got a lot of very famous people as fans. So we've decided that we're going to do a podcast in its honour, I think.
To celebrate it, to be honest.
To celebrate it. So the plan that we've got, this is just the very first episode, so we've got
This is a welcome to you.
A welcome to you, and it's also we're going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to do, and we also have a little bonus. We had Daisy and Charlie, the writers,
And Paul.
The stars of this country, came in to do a special podcast with us. This is going back. This was on the day after, I think, the first episode aired.
We were the very first interview that they did.
Yeah. So we're going to play that as a little special bonus for the very first episode. And then in future episodes, we're going to chat about each episode of the actual show. We're going to have some interviews with more of the stars, hopefully. And hopefully have Daisy and Charlie back in again. And we're going to just have some fun with it.
Yeah, we'll talk about the episodes and things like that. So from the first series, we can go back and revisit the great episodes. We can have discussions on those. And like Pav said, we will be talking to some of the stars of the show and people created with the show. But also we'd like you to be in touch with us. So if you're a fan of the show, do please email us at pancast@live.com.
No,
or you
can email us at WTAF.
Oh, we got a new one.
This country at you got me at hotmail.com.
Right, okay.
That is the this country. Or you can find us on Twitter, WTAF this country. So it's at WTAF this country. Or we're on Facebook, which is also WTAF this country.
Yes.
So we are totally available. Ask us questions. I think it'd be nice to also maybe take a trip to North Leach and go to some of the places that
I think we can.
You know.
We'll have to wait for the later on in the year, I would have thought, as in next year, probably with the weather.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to, we're going to have to, because there's only 6 episodes and the Comic Relief special. Hopefully we're going to sort out getting a few of the people, the director and the stars to chat with us on episodes. So that's the plan. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play. I can't remember exactly when this.
It would have been February sort of time this year. It would have been early this year.
February 2017.
I think it was.
We had Charlie, Daisy, and Paul. So Kerry Curtin and.
Martin. No.
Martin.
It is
yes,
Martin.
It
Mutlow,
is Martin
isn't it?
Mutlow, yeah. Bless him, he was sat in the corner of our little studio on the damp patch, as it were. So we're going to have a chat with them. I'm sure there's bad language because Daisy's in the room. But then there's going to be no filter on this podcast. I think we can, because
being that we're called What the Actual Fuck,
yes.
I do think it sort of gives us license to be
and I think when we start looking into the episodes, we're going to be quoting quotes and stuff like that. So we're going to be swearing. So this is going to be a completely explicit podcast. So get fucking used to it.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so here we go, and we'll come and speak back to you after this.
Enjoy.
What the actual fuck?
Ahoy hoy and welcome to a very special movie heaven. Hello, Pav.
Hello, Neil.
That's enough about you. Let's move straight on to the guests.
Thanks ever so much.
No, absolutely. We've got to rush in because we got 3 very special guests in the shed today. If you're a fan of mockumentaries, there's a new one started on BBC 3, which you can catch online, which is This Country. So without further ado, let me introduce Daisy Cooper.
Hello.
Charlie Cooper.
Hello.
And Paul Cooper.
Hello.
Hello.
Should we explain the seating arrangements?
We
We don't
should.
normally have 5 people in the shed, we have to say. So unfortunately, Paul drew the short straw and is sat, as we speak, on a soya packet.
Yeah.
We don't know how the soya packet got here.
That's our makeshift seat.
But he seems really happy there, bless him.
Well, please.
Good.
Right, so let's find out then, Daisy. When did This Country start? Go
God.
right back to the
That
beginning.
goes
sorry.
right back, doesn't it? That was about, I think it's about 6 years ago.
November.
Was anybody asking you, Dad, or were you just going
What are you
Pipe up
even here?
again.
No, that's all right.
to... What were you?
Yeah, no, so I think the first script we wrote was January 2011.
Yeah.
Is it so like, a bit? Obviously, it's changed so much. Different characters and stuff, and different sort of plot lines. But yeah, it seems like forever.
It seems like
longer.
it's been forever.
So the genesis of the idea, was it always a mockumentary? Or did
No,
No,
that
it
came
wasn't.
in. That came in sort of last year. It wasn't before. And then it was our producer who said, because we wanted to do something that felt really real and authentic. And he said the best way is to do a mockumentary.
And the reason why that was so good as well is that you don't have to spend loads of time like with exposition, like introducing the characters and stuff. You can do it so quickly and get right in there and just literally tell the audience what you want them to know without having to set up so much stuff, which was really exhausting before.
It's definitely easier to write like that.
Yeah.
So what was your writing process then? Did one of you have an idea, then you're bouncing off each other, or you improvising with each other?
Yeah,
or?
well, Daisy came up with the character Kerry first, and then she didn't really know how to use Microsoft Excel. So
I'm extremely lazy, so I'm the one that just sort of wanders around.
I sort of helped her write it to begin with, and then gradually became more involved, and then ended up writing it together.
And then, because Charlie wasn't ever going to be in it until quite recently, to like the last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We just said, because he used to read out the script and like the character, the sort of male protagonist, and I used to think, oh, that's actually really good. So Charlie doing absolutely no acting, just suddenly we just thought, fuck it, why don't you just play the part? And that's how that happened as well.
Because the first incarnation was filmed, the pilot, actually in Siren System, wasn't it? And that was called Kerry, wasn't it?
That was called Kerry, that was with ITV, and it was just... I mean,
that was really... we
really
hated that.
we really hated it. It was absolutely appalling, but I think it's so good because it gave us the time to sort of find it and realise what not to do with it, basically. So we're really, really grateful that we had the time to sort of
get it right.
So, yeah, it's good.
So how long did it take for this incarnation, then how long did it take to sort of get the first episode up and ready, or did you write all of the episodes first, or...?
We've written so many... First of all, what we do is we do like a story outline, which we send to our producer. So we've done so many story outlines, and then he'll choose which ones that he thinks is good and what to sort of progress with. I mean, we have written, I'd say, about 11 episodes or something.
I guess it took a year to write, but like it was sort of intense bursts. Bursts? Is that the word?
Bursts.
Intense bursts.
What do I mean? And then obviously back and forth and stuff. But yeah, sorry, what was the question?
It was more about the process and how long it takes to.
Yeah.
Did you decide to write? So what I'm saying is, like the 6 episodes that you've got, the first series. Did you know when you were writing that they were the first 6? You said you had different storylines.
Yeah, we had totally different storylines, and some of them just weren't working.
We wrote about 3 other episodes that sort of got binned off. So it was just like,
But it's just about finding stuff, and it's also really difficult because you've got to write A plots and B plots, and it's getting those to merge and those to sort of work well together. So you can find yourself going through so many plot lines just to try and find the ones that match and that work.
Right. And how much rewriting do you do then, or are you quite happy to sort of get it down on paper and then sort of that's it? Or
yeah, so we sort of we'll get it down, then we'll send it off to our producer who sort of comes back with notes, and then you just keep going back and forth, and they might say, oh, this scene's not really working, or it's not funny enough, or it doesn't really make sense.
But yeah,
and then you just have to keep trying at it.
Yeah, I mean, quite a few drafts for each one, but then
how many drafts would you say that we do?
Doesn't matter. You're interrupting me when I'm trying to speak.
You know what? Let's just not work together anymore because...
exclusive!
What I'm saying is, no, because when it came to filming, a lot of the script, because there was so much improvisation, that a lot of the scripts sort of fell away.
Just went out the window anyway.
Yeah. So, and so the story changed during filming a lot of the time, which is quite a good way to work because it's sort of spontaneous.
And surely then that's better than what you've written if you think it's funnier anyway.
Definitely felt it's like so much changes when you start rehearsing it. You think, oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, and especially when you get other actors in as well. But no, it's such a weird process.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's so much fun. It's been so good.
So how much of the script then is improvised to what you actually wrote?
Quite a lot in the end.
Wasn't it?
And again, because of the mockumentary, it means because it was so loose, the style of filming, you don't have to do like different angles, and we just had 2 cameras on the whole time and let them run. So even after a scene, we just keep the cameras running. And then we just carry on doing stuff, and we had so much good material come from the, the spontaneous improv.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny as well because when we were auditioning, sometimes a few times wasn't it that the lines just weren't coming off the back, they just sounded really wooden and really. So that was another reason to start improvising, and it just made it fresh and. Especially when you're having to do the same scene over and over again.
Some of the best lines were, stuff that were like the plum, all that plumbing stuff was just her on the spot. Was just which is great. People really like that.
Yeah, it was funny.
We were just saying just before you came in that the one thing I liked about the first episode, which was the pilot episode, if you want to call it that, was how funny it was. Because you tend to find a lot of. I was trying to think of other first episodes of comedy series that I've seen and how different they are to the rest of the series, but just how, because they're trying to find its feet, and I think that was one thing I enjoyed. I'm not saying that just because I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, but I really did find it funny. I must admit. So
thank you.
So obviously this is are you working on another series? Are you allowed to say?
We've just started, haven't we?
It hasn't been official, but we're hoping,
Another exclusive.
Okay. But another funny thing, because Charlie got a lot of people commenting saying you look like Gareth Keenan, which he absolutely does.
Yeah, I do.
And it was really annoying because we did have in the first episode where Kerry says to him, you look like Gareth from The Office and you've got a big nose and weird eyes and really gawky looking.
I saw the clip of that. That was a clip.
Yeah, they did put a clip later on, but I think it would have been good if it had been in the first episode just to address that and just know that we've acknowledged it before anybody else did.
Right.
I mean, funny enough, when we were filming, somebody said, "Oh my God, have you seen?" Went up to one of the crew or something and said, "Oh, can I get Mackenzie Crick's autograph?"
Really?
It's not. But we might have a potential. I don't know. Have Mackenzie Crook maybe play your dad or something in the second series. It has to be in it.
That would be funny.
That would be very funny.
So was that where the hair came from then, or was that just a natural choice to? Or...
No, because the character's called Curtain because he's got curtains, and I think it's just my hair length at the time. I mean, in hindsight, probably we should have changed it, but. Obviously, I just have the same hair and the way it's, the colour.
And West Country accent as well. It's like there's a lot of things.
It really didn't occur. It wasn't like, we'll make him look like it. It just, that was probably the one thing I regret, not changing that, more. But
Right,
Oh, well.
okay.
So you've been filming in North Leach. Why aren't you filming in Cirencester then?
Because we wanted to make it a smaller village, and we thought Cirencester's too big and it sort of got too much for them to do. And we thought if we had it in a smaller village that
A bit
it would...
more claustrophobic for them.
Yeah, and sort of alienating, and, you know, there really is absolutely nothing to do at North Leach.
No.
So I thought, you know, that was one of the lessons that we learned, didn't we, from the pilot? And a lot of the feedback we got from the pilot was it's too big for them. Cirencester's actually too big a place for them.
Right.
It could be anyway, yeah.
Yeah. And it's sort of a smaller village is more incestuous and a bit naff. And there's just more old people, so there's just nobody of their peers, and that's why they've got to hang around with, like, year sevens. And
Yeah, exactly.
So
Which was
what?
very
I'm just trying to think how we're going to say this. Your character.
yeah.
Where did you get that character from? Because is there any of your character in? I didn't want to be a nasty.
It was actually based on a girl years ago that I used to know, and I think you find them in a lot of villages where you have these girls that think that they want to be like the cock of the village, and there's all that rubbish about I'm going to bash that person out, and we just found it really. I just used to find it really funny, and like these people would be like the sheriff of the town, you know, and you just think, who are they? They're not. You know, that's what.
Yeah.
That came from.
Well, I've just watched episode 2, and Mandy, which is obviously what it's called. We've all met a Mandy.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
was
haven't seen it yet. I need to.
Yeah, we've all met a Mandy.
Oh God, absolutely.
Was that just a combination of loads of different people, or
That was we just thought we needed somebody to challenge Kerry, and that for Kerry to act like she's the hard nut, she needed somebody even harder than her to be scared of, and it was just quite a nice aspect to the character showing.
Yeah, and there's definitely a few people we know that's...
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much every character's based on, you know...
Yeah, we can't say who, but it's based on you, actually.
Maybe we get in there somehow.
Yeah. So, also with filming with the BBC, how long did it take to film the 6 episodes then?
It was 3 weeks.
3
wasn't
weeks,
it?
yeah.
Which is
Just 3 weeks?
3
Yeah.
weeks, but we did 6-day weeks, didn't we?
Yeah, because we only had 4 episodes commissioned originally.
Yeah.
And then... Wait, did we? That's right.
Yeah, and then they decided to do 6 because so that you could get more into the characters.
6 15 minutes. And then, but because we had so much material, they ended up being 24 minutes,
yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 I tell you what also is really fun is we cast quite a few of our family members in it. One obviously being Dad, who plays my dad.
Yeah.
And it was possibly one of the most frustrating moments of my acting career, having to work with Dad, who just kept farting his lines up.
Fumbling.
And it was just... you just kept forgetting. You just kept doing the same, like his eyes would just suddenly glaze over, and he looked like a carp because he just forget what he was doing.
The scene in the first episode, I thought it was Shakespearean. Your performance. It was absolutely
It was funny,
fantastic.
actually.
Did you see the outtakes there?
The outtakes, oh God.
I was going to ask about that. So, is there a way that will you be releasing things like the outtakes online and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a DVD, isn't there, with the outtakes and extra material on it.
I'm not sure about outtakes, but definitely like additional stuff that we didn't put in.
Yeah.
Do you have a say in what goes in on that then, or?
I don't know if we wanted
Sometimes.
to, but we just can't.
I mean, we weren't really sat in the edit. We did have a bit of
we did.
freedom and sort of said what we liked and what we didn't like, and yeah, but we are generally sometimes it's good for an editor just to do it without us being involved, because then you just start looking at your own performance
It's difficult to get perspective on it, isn't it?
Yeah,
The BBC
really weird.
interfered very little, didn't they?
Yeah, they
Very
were
much
amazing. They were absolutely
what
brilliant.
costumes and kind of casting. You're in all the casting.
Yeah, they just let us have free reign, really.
Talking of the cast, then, is the majority of the cast local people?
No,
not really. Well, the kids were from a local agency, but they were absolutely brilliant. We loved working with them, didn't we? But so my uncle plays Len, who's the sort of old bloke with the funny looking scarecrow.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the other people we did, there were just castings in London and were actors. But I think has been talk about, for the second series, we definitely do local casting and get some more local people in it.
Yeah, like
Slugs is in it. Michael Slugs.
Yes. Puffer jacket.
He was an absolute nightmare, wasn't he, at the beginning? Because he just used to corpse the whole time.
Yeah.
And laugh. And he is great.
So is he pretty much playing himself?
Yeah.
He is but what was really funny is he said, I think I know who this character's based on. And he said somebody else, and I said, no, it's based on you. The whole time we're just walking around Siren trying to avoid Slugs. Bless him.
And also Phil James.
And Phil James, we love Phil James. Yeah, we said, he had to, because he did.
I saw him South Cerney Duck Race do South Cerney doing the. He's part of the Players.
Yeah, that's right.
And he did like a Monty Python thing, and I've never forgotten it. And I knew when we had this like part. Unfortunately, it was sort of like a. He only had one line in the end, but. If there's a chance to bring him back, I'd love to. He was brilliant. He's just like such a...
Yeah.
Well, the whole Fate had sort of inspiration from the duck race, didn't it? Like the fruit machine.
That was... I love that you noticed that. Yeah. That was absolutely from the duck race.
Which always makes me laugh, and other things. The Scarecrow Trail, obviously, a load of villages still have that. Is that where you took the inspiration of that from?
Yeah, there's one near Stroud, isn't there? Chalford, that's the one that we went to. And we just thought they were hysterical. Like... Some of the scarecrows were so well made, and some of them are just appalling, like utter monstrosities. Yeah. We just thought it's just such a bizarre thing, and that's why we found it really funny that Curtin's character would get so obsessive with having to win this, because there is absolutely fuck all else to do but compete in a scarecrow festival. Like, that's an amazing...
Well, it gave me one of the biggest belly laughs. Sorry about a little spoiler, but when you walk in the background with the flame, that really just made me laugh.
And how serious he sort of takes it, because you know.
And it's also the fact that, like, both of you as your characters don't seem to have any respect for anybody in the village, apart from the vicar, because you're effing and blinding in front of the vicar. But every time you swear, you go, I'm sorry for swearing. I'm really sorry for swearing, but you just keep effing and blinding in front of him. But he's obviously somebody that means a lot to your character, because he's somebody that you seem to listen to. Because
we wanted a character that was sort of more like a teacher sort of figure, that sort of
like an authoritative figure that they looked up to.
Yeah, who believes in them, and like. Obviously they can be a bit of a nightmare, but he always has time for them, and he's trying to help them, and that brings like more warmth to the show that we sort of really wanted to do.
And I think because they're always testing his boundaries. I think because nobody really cares about them, to have this guy that does actually, I don't know, sort of reprimand them or on their side. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that it is nice. There was always kids like that at school who would warm to a teacher that would actually sort of give a shit. And then we're awful in, like, with other teachers and other lessons. Yeah. And we kind of wanted to capture that. We tried to do it with the police officer and that writers, and that didn't really work. But when we thought of the vicar, we thought that's perfect, because he's like a man of God. He's sort of doing this because morally it's... Because otherwise, who else would want to befriend these two absolute fuckwits?
It's a bit like your mum, isn't it? So I've watched the second episode, and all you hear is the voice, and it's yelling. Is that all we're going to see, or do we meet your mum?
All we're going to see from the mum. She's always in bed.
Right. So and is there a storyline going through all 6 episodes, or is it more like episodic?
There is a storyline. Right. There's a sort of the last episode's quite sad.
Right.
That's when I won't give too much
don't give it
away. But Curtin decides that he might leave the village and do a GMVQ and leave Kerry alone, and so you'll just have to see whether he actually goes or not.
Well, which would lead nicely to a second series involving...
Either that, or he could go to Slough and go to a paper merchant's office. Yes. This whole series could be a prequel to The Office.
That would be brilliant. Oh my God.
You could be assistant to the manager.
Never thought of that. Office prequel. Fantastic.
Oh my God. It's a whole shared universe.
Well, I'm going to say again, congratulations on the first 2 episodes. They've been really, really funny. They haven't disappointed.
Yeah, so I look forward to them. And have you got any other ideas ideas in the works, or are you just concentrating on?
I think we're just concentrating.
Yeah, just concentrating on this, trying to get
The idea of thinking something else is quite.
It's just stresses us out. We're so fucking lazy as well. So we'd rather not do anything.
But do you sort of take it for granted that you're doing this, or because this is people's dreams to be able to write a series and get it up on TV? And
I don't know. It's so weird because it's been such a long time. Because it's been 6 years, and we've had to go through absolute hell.
Well, I can remember when you came in and did your movie Heaven. You were talking about the process. I think it was still with ITV then when you were doing
oh god, and it was just absolute hell. So to be on the other side, I think we're just so relieved to have actually gotten it there and to get it out on TV that it's weird. Like, I mean, we're just sort of starting to get used to it, just realise what's happened now.
Yeah, it's so difficult to. Yeah, I don't know.
It's such a it's like it's kind of snowballed at the moment.
So what about feedback then? Have you had feedback from people that obviously you can have feedback from people that know you, but outside of the circle,
yeah, we've
getting
had
good feedback.
We had a really nice review, didn't we, in the Independent?
Yeah, really nice.
We had. I've been stopped. That's really unnerving.
I was just about to say, you've been recognised.
Stopping you and saying, "Oh, can I have a photo?" And that is just bizarre.
Oh, you love it. You're going.
I do love it. Yeah, I do.
You texted me today. So you're going for a coffee in town.
Well, the Independent said you're Ronnie Barker in drag.
Yeah, did you see that? He said that Charlie looked like Gareth Keane, I looked like Ronnie Barker in drag. I was devastated.
Well, there's a line for the next series.
Yeah, there's a line for the next series. Yeah.
That's high praise. I don't want to be Ronnie Barker.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So you haven't been stopped yet then for a photo?
No,
he had two women in a charity shop whispering very loudly about him, didn't he?
It's Gareth
Keane. And was the Swindon tops your own?
Oh no, they found them, didn't they? They Costume found them, but we've had loads of
people asking, Swindon
fans asking, and a lot of Oxford United fans getting a bit upset and saying this is. This programme shows exactly what Swindon scum are like.
Oh, really?
We've had a lot of
so why Swindon over Cheltenham then?
We just like the colour of the top, didn't we?
Well, Cheltenham's red as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
I think because there's more. We know more Swindon fans in Siren, so it always felt
a bit more of a dig, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess. It's a local team, really, isn't it?
Yeah, one of them.
One of them.
Yeah.
You sound really disgusted by
that. Anyway. So where are you with season 2 at the moment then? I know you said you're writing it. Have you got most of the episodes written? Or
no, we've literally just started coming up with ideas, haven't we?
Yeah.
We sat in the Crown the other day and just started thinking about possible storylines, and so we literally take most of our material from what we see in the Wilkes and Gloss standards. And we go, we have to write about this. This is insane.
Because when Siren Spotted was going, that was like a
that was brilliant
wealth of material from there.
There's some really funny. What was the thing that we read in the Standard the other day about that man who took 8 years to grow a pineapple at his house?
Oh, really?
Did you see
that was the news, was it?
That was the front page news.
Oh, my God. 8 years.
Oh,
Damn, I've been busted. 8 years to grow a pineapple.
Yeah.
I can imagine that'd be a whole sitcom. Surely we can do a whole sitcom on that.
Oh, gosh.
I'm in. So, Paul, with the filming then, were you involved in every episode and helping out throughout the whole 3 weeks?
No, I've been played Kerry's dad, so I had the 3 lines in the first episode, and in the 4th episode, I'm kind of one of the main characters. So it's
all about Dad being a peeping Tom.
I saw another clip where you were sat having a beer, saying about how you were servicing one of these women that their husband couldn't quite sort it out, and then you went and had a drink with him afterwards.
Yeah. So most of that is filmed in a lot of that is filmed in a very small caravan with Daisy opposite and kind of about 6 crew in there, all kind of in the toilet and in the cupboard. And,
a bit like being in here then.
It was 2 days. It was really full on for you.
Yeah, 2 days, and it was quite heavy kind of stuff because there was a lot of dialogue, an awful lot of dialogue.
Do you enjoy it though?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Absolutely loved it. and then it's kind of back to reality. So it was only 2 days that I was filming.
But it's really bizarre because you're working at doing recruitment. So when the episode comes out, people are just going to be like, I just saw this guy on TV talking about shagging someone else's wife.
I want to go work for him. Get me a job.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's going to be the most successful recruitment officer in the country.
Funny enough, it's Neat's kids I'm working with as well. So yeah, they kind of they identify with you two. Yeah.
So you said that today was your first interview.
Yes.
How do you think it's gone?
It's gone wonderfully. We'll always give our
As long as it
exclusive interviews to Pancast.
I will get you to sign that because when you win your BAFTA and you wouldn't want to wipe us off your bottom of your shoe, I'm going to hold you to that. You enjoyed it?
yeah, I just hope I haven't waffled on. That's my
No, you're here
You
to
have,
talk.
actually.
Yeah, so we're all about you
You're
talking.
here to talk.
No, I've loved it. Thank you for having me.
Good. And do you think, is this the sort of thing that you're going to get used to? Is these where people are going to be trying to look into your souls and get all your deepest, darkest secrets?
Yeah, well, wish I got to get used to it, really.
Yeah, we've got to stop arguing. I think we still argue a lot, and Mum still has to tell us off.
But maybe not, because that's where the dynamic for the writing comes.
Yeah.
You lose that, you lose the gold.
Yeah, don't be too nice to each other.
Yeah.
For goodness sake.
So where do people find this then? If they're listening now and thinking, I do want to watch that now, where do they find it?
You can find it on BBC iPlayer. It's This Country. It's also going to be shown on Saturday. The repeats are on BBC One Saturday about
After
11:30.
match of the day, yeah. 11:55 after match of the day.
After match of the day.
Manager knows.
Manager
Yeah.
knows.
Got the coat.
Yeah.
Well, at least
say
you're on
ma-
BBC One.
I was going to say, don't say manager, he'll start his Brian Clough impersonation.
Yeah.
And then we'll be off with wine, women's song and wafers.
We can have that sing-song again.
Oh, those were the days. Those
The
were the
12
days.
inch.
Right, so I've got to watch episode 2.
Yeah, it was
I haven't
out
watched
today.
episode 2 yet.
I've watched
so,
it.
I always thought it was at 10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's
in
weird.
the morning.
That.
Yeah, it's
Is
really
it?
weird
But I-
that it comes out on iPlayer.
Because it's obviously everything being online, people watch stuff like at different times, which is quite. It's a shame that you don't have that like social thing of watching something together. Do you think that's a problem?
I don't know. No, at the same time, I think on demand is definitely the way that
Oh, it has to.
people
Yeah,
watch things
yeah.
when they want to watch
Yeah,
them.
of
Now.
course.
And I think that's instead of having to wait, you'd like to say, Neil can watch it.
Yeah, before when I get up in the morning.
Yeah, in bed.
Yeah. Were you told, like, with the language, what you were and weren't allowed to say? Was there any sort of restraints? Because obviously you've got a bit of bad language.
They said that we had to rein in the swearing a bit, but we're just so awful, aren't we? We just can't.
Well, yeah, because when we write the scripts, when you submit them, you get a long list of like the words that have come back that you know that we haven't been able to use. There's
Like-
a lot about Fred West that we weren't able to do.
That old chestnut.
So was there swear words you weren't allowed to use, or could you go full on?
There are a few comedies that have said the C word now, but we chose not to. But I think was there any other?
No, I don't think so. It was more stuff like, oh, you can't talk about paedophile puppets from the Wonga advert, or stuff like there was more stuff like that we weren't allowed to say.
Yeah.
There's more content
This
rather than
brands.
specific
Yeah.
words.
People's names as well. There was funny
Celebrities'
names
names.
and stuff. If there was someone local that had the same name, they wouldn't use it.
Right.
Yeah, we had to get so many like names came back. We had to change because there would be what names came. Bumford.
Yeah, Bumford. Like they look on Facebook or something, and if there's somebody in the area, you actually can't use that name,
right.
even though it wasn't based on that person, or it was just a random name. So that was really annoying. So we had name checks all the time. But apart from that, we were pretty.
So if there's somebody that you really was pissed off with, you could think, I'm going to write their name. We're going to go for that. You couldn't do that. No.
Couldn't do it.
Till season 2, when you're famous and it doesn't matter.
Rob Robinson, that's all I'll say. Was he not somebody you really knew and bullied?
Well, it was based on someone.
It was based on someone that.
You want to find this person? Should we say their name?
Yeah, I don't think he lives.
We actually want to find him.
He genuinely, because I went to Powell's primary school, and he was a year above me, but I sat next to him in class for some reason. It was my year, and he was called Paul Fisher. And
Paul Fisher. No.
You're waiting for that.
We just don't know
I've
what's
looked on
happened to him.
Facebook. I've looked on Twitter. I mean, that's
Can't find him. Can we
Was he not a salamander himself?
No, all I remember, he had these massive ears and loved Warhammer.
Yeah.
Right, so there you go. You need to look at the
but I
Warhammer.
I mean, you've narrowed it down quite a lot there. You've got his name, he's got massive
We've
ears and
gotta
Warhammer.
find what happened to. He always had really knobbly knees as well, didn't he?
Very weird, knobbly knees, like twiglets.
I've got such a vision in my head.
I'm just thinking Plug from the Bash Street Kids.
That's before these boys' time. They go to kids' time, bless them. So Paul Fisher with flappy ears,
Yeah.
knobbly knees,
What
and
happened
playing
to you?
Warhammer.
Come forward.
Where are you?
Please come
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, because I'd love to go for a pint with you now.
Or have you not learned anything from film episode 2?
Yes, I should.
Yeah.
Actually,
Right.
he was boring.
So catch it on the BBC iPlayer every Wednesday, isn't it? 10 a.m. we just said, and Saturday nights after Match of the Day. Well, thank you very much for coming in,
Thank you
Daisy,
so much.
Charlie, and Paul. Sorry you had to sit on the floor, sir.
I just realised I got a cushion down here. Look, it's been sat on.
Loved it.
Yeah.
He's done my pile of wonders.
Oh, God.
Just don't leave any on the shag pile, please.
And we'll look forward to talking about Series 2. That's what we will.
Oh,
look forward to.
absolutely, we will.
We'll be back.
Well,
Yeah.
brilliant. Thank
Well, we'll
you.
have to get Charlie in to come and do a movie Heaven because
Yeah,
he's
that's
already
it,
done.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
must
You'll have to
do.
come and we'll get him on his own. You can stretch out. You can
Relax.
space
Put my
in the
legs
shed.
up.
Yeah.
And say what you want to say and
Yeah.
swear about people.
Brilliant.
And moan about your sister and moan about your dad.
Right, so thank you very much, Pav.
Well, thank you very much, Neil. It's been a pleasure.
It has.
It
And
really
thank you
has.
very much, everybody, for listening. We'll see you all again soon for another movie Heaven.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
What the actual fuck?
So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. There'll be plenty more where that came from.
More
yeah,
episodes
fuckers.
coming your way.
Indeed.
So do remember, if you've got any questions or likewise you've got anything you'd like to say about this country, do remember to email us at WTAFthiscountry@hotmail.com.
And come and follow us on Twitter at WTAF This Country, and also on a Facebook fan page, which is obviously facebook.com/WTAF This Country. So there you go. That's it for episode 1. We will see you again very soon, where we'll probably be talking through the first episode
I would have thought that would be the first
of This Country, indeed.
Thank you very much.
We haven't worked out an ending
No,
for it yet,
absolutely. Well, it is just.
So-
We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
have we? Yeah. What the actual fuck?
Exactly.
Scarecrow Festival is like the most important day of the year. Daft Cow?
This is just ridiculous. What the actual fuck?
Scarecrow Festival is like the most important day of the year.
What?
Daft Cow?
This is just ridiculous. What the actual fuck?